We are live. It says we're live. Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It is Wine All About It in the Organizing Lounge, and it can still be Wine Wednesday over at Home Cooked Health with Paige. We are here together this evening, and we are in our second week of our Healthy Pantry series. It's a 3-week series that we have going for the month of July, started last week. And last week we talked about pantry essentials and staples to keep in your pantry and how to organize them. This week we're talking about saving time in the kitchen and building stations. And next week we might talk about something spicy. So
I like it. I was glad we picked stations for week 2. I think it's something that people haven't thought about a lot. So hopefully you'll have a chance to check out our blog posts. If you haven't, head on over there after our Facebook Live and more detailed information than I'm going to go into today. But we've got a couple topics to cover, right?
Yep. Yes, we do. In case that you don't know who I am Melinda Wieland. I'm owner of Order to Everything. I'm a professional organizer in Austin, Texas. And I created Wine About It Wednesday so that I could have a place where I can help people organize every week and drink a little wine while I'm doing it. And I'll let Paige introduce herself.
I'm Paige Newman. I'm a certified health coach, and I work virtually with Home Cooked Health. And my goal is to help people get more comfortable in the kitchen, because the more you cook your own food, the more control you have over your health. So I like to help people understand cooking is not too challenging, not too scary, and that once you get in there, you're going to really like it. You're going to like the way you feel.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so for sure for me, I really need I really need help in my kitchen, health-wise.
You get tired. At the end of the day, you don't want to take on another challenge, right? And that's what I think stations are so helpful for. Whether you're not a morning person, we talked a little bit about smoothies in our blogs this week and how to set that up so simply, so that you don't even have to think about it. You can just grab a packet. You can have your meal. You feel energized. You feel fortified. You get the nutrients that you need, with such minimal work, just a little bit of planning in advance.
Mm-hmm. Well, that leads into the question that I have for you. The question is, how do I know what is good to put together when meal prepping? And an example would be, can I put powders in the freezer when I'm building a smoothie? Or can I cut fruits and vegetables and stuff ahead of time and still put them in the refrigerator without them going?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, powders, yes. Matter of fact, any of your baking items, things along those lines, are great to be kept in the freezer. They're going to last longer. We keep our protein powder in the freezer, and you don't have to worry about spoilage. It'll stay indefinitely. So yes, you can easily scoop powders, put them in a freezer-safe Ziploc bag, and leave it. The fruit is interesting. Yes, you can freeze fruit. You know that you can buy frozen fruit. But if you had something like grapes, you had a big batch of strawberries, yes, you can freeze them, but I have a really good tip. So what I like to do is take a baking sheet and I spread out my fruit in one single layer and I flash freeze it. That means that you slide it into the freezer for about 15 minutes and it's going to start to harden up. Not so long that you're going to get ice crystals or freezer damage, just enough that it's harder. And then once you take it off that baking sheet and put it into your Ziploc bags, it will not freeze together. So you will not get a clump of strawberries, which is hard to use. You can pull out an individual strawberry from that plastic bag. You can do that with anything. If I make a batch of pancakes, I like to freeze them that way too, lay them on a baking sheet. Same thing with cookies. Anything that you want to throw in a big bag later, try flash freezing first.
Oh, okay.
That answers.
Yeah. So with anything, like with bananas, if you do that beforehand, it'll keep them from sticking together.
Exactly. So if you slice a banana or even a whole banana, lay it on a baking sheet, throw it in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Nice. What about the refrigerator? So if you want to keep things in, I know that in the blog post we mentioned snack stations. Mm-hmm. So what if you want to pre-cut or pre-wash fruit? Are there certain things that you need to do in order for it to stay good?
Funny that you bring it up now, because we were so excited after the first week that somebody reached out to us that has a product that actually really helps with that. It's hard to keep washed fruit fresh. It will spoil quickly, but we're going to hold that information till a little bit later and tell you we do know about a product that will help, but I don't wash my fruit before eating it. So when it comes home from the grocery, I just throw it in the crisper drawers. Berries will mold extremely quickly. So no washing them. I don't wash my grapes. I don't wash anything until we're ready to eat them.
Okay. I do that. I didn't know if there was a trick to keep
it. Not
and,
that I'm aware of. If anybody out there listening has a better idea, feel free to jump in our comments. We are reading them and happy to respond to anything. And so if you have some ideas or questions, feel free to throw them at us.
Yes, please.
And I have a question for you, Melinda.
Okay.
So this came to me from talking to some other moms. They want their kids to be more self-sufficient in the kitchen, don't we all? So what type of a station would you suggest creating to help them make their own meals so that they can assemble something quickly, safely, and not make too big of a mess in the kitchen?
Okay. So with that, it could be multiple ones, and it could be for adults or for kids. A big one for kids is snacks, because they always come in and they're hungry and they want to just grab the easy thing, which is the stuff in the box in the pantry, which we don't want them to eat. So creating a snack station in your refrigerator is really important so that they can just grab it and go. So having things like little yogurts, having cheese sticks, applesauces, fruits, all that kind of stuff that you approve first, and keep it in either its own drawer or in a separate container.
Okay.
That's really important too, to divide it away from everything else so that they know that it's theirs. It makes them feel important.
We'll use the like the meat and cheese drawer in a fridge. Is that a good place to maybe throw some different types of ingredients that they could pull out?
Yes. Yeah, that's the perfect thing, because it's an automatic, it's a drawer. So it's really nice to do that. And even dividing it within the drawer is good too. If you have, the cheese sticks can go all over the place. So if you, put them in something that it doesn't get unruly. And the same thing with lunches. If you want them to make their own lunches, put things where they are together. So you can do a lunch station. It may need to be separated where there's stuff in the refrigerator and the pantry. But in the pantry, you can put the bread and the peanut butter, for example, together, or your nut spreads or whatever you put with your bread. And then in the refrigerator, whatever you put with, have your meat and your cheese and your jam or butter, or whatever you would put with it. And then that way they can just grab it and put the stuff together and then put it back. So using a refrigerator container and some sort of bin to have those in is important. It doesn't have to be a beautiful bin. It doesn't have to be, matching everything, but just as long as it's separate and they know that that's where they go and they grab it. That's the most important thing.
I like it. I will say I keep my bread in the fridge, so that would be one less step for my kids to have to find it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, even easier. If you keep it in the fridge, keep it all together. And
is it better to keep bread in the fridge?
Stays fresher longer. To go even further, I actually keep it in the freezer. We keep the peanut butter in the fridge, but yeah, I find it lasts a lot longer. It doesn't mold. It keeps almost indefinitely if you keep it cold.
Nice.
Could be our humidity and our heat. Maybe other climates don't have that problem, but try it. See what you think.
It looks like Mira has a question, but it's broken. Let's see. Does fruit? How long can fruit stay in
the freezer? Unopened, a long time. If you're keeping it in a Ziploc bag or in its original packaging, again, almost indefinitely. Once you start to open that bag, I would try and use it in 3 months max. You're going to lose some nutrients once some oxygen starts to hit even the frozen fruit. So it will last a long time. The longer you can keep it secure and the air away from it, the longer it's going to last. So 3 months, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
Good question.
I don't see another question yet, but I did have a question earlier from my sister, and she wanted me to, well, actually, it wasn't really a question, but she pointed out having enough space to make a station, because I had posted in my group that a station that I have for our coffee and beverage in our kitchen. And she's like, well, what if you don't have that much space? And it's not really the idea that you have to make a big elaborate station. So I just kind of wanted to define what that is and what it can mean for anything. So like if you have a coffee station, for example, it's simply keeping everything that you use for that task as close at hand as you can. So if you have just one cabinet, maybe just keeping everything in one basket. Or if you have a drawer that is very near another cabinet, kind of use those two in tandem. The idea is to, not have to go from your refrigerator to the pantry to the other side of the kitchen and back again in order to use it, right? So, if you're making a like we just said, a lunch station, it might have to be split into two, but that doesn't mean you have to have a lot of space to create it.
I think that's a good point, because not all of us have large kitchens or good cabinets, good pantries. But yeah, just thinking about how can I keep it in the same general area. That's your station.
Right. And dividing it even within a drawer. If you have all of your utensils in a drawer, divide your baking utensils from your barbecue utensils so that you can just quickly grab the spatulas and whisks quickly instead of having to dig through. So even just dividing things will create a, somewhat of a station for you and help you save time because you're not looking for stuff. So
excellent.
I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, no, I think sometimes people are turned off by thinking, oh, I don't have this grand house, this beautiful kitchen. You use what you have and only keep the items you need on hand. That will simplify things too. And the more you cook, the more you're going to know what you like and what you need. So that helps you kind of filter out some of that extra stuff too, I think.
Yeah. Pam just asked a question. How can I keep my bananas stay fresh longer?
Do you have a banana hook, Pam? Because I can send you one. There's an item, it's really the only thing I've ever found. Do you know what a banana hook is, Melinda?
Yeah, I have one on my counter.
Do you? So it's the only way I found to keep them fresh. But I suppose you could get any kind of hook and screw it into maybe a cabinet. If the bananas hang, and I don't know why, they stay fresher longer. We go through weeks where everybody wants a banana, and then the next week nobody wants a banana. So it's hard to gauge. And I'd also recommend freezing them if you're starting to get to that, mushy point. Throw them in the freezer sooner rather than later so you can use them for banana bread, for smoothies. But look up a banana hook. You have plenty of room on your counter. Just stick a bunch on there, and it'll give you quite a bit longer than stick them in a bowl.
Do you know anything about wrapping the top of them with wrap? Because I noticed that when I bought organic bananas versus others, that they're wrapped at the top, and the last bunch that we bought lasted a lot longer.
Really?
So my husband actually bought some that weren't organic yesterday, and he came home and he wrapped the top of it because he wanted to see if it would work. And so I didn't know if that was.
Have you noticed any?
Well, it was yesterday, so I don't know. That's why I asked.
You'll have to report back. I have not heard that. I wonder if it has something to do with restricting the oxygen that's getting in. That's sort of the point that it was exposed to the banana tree. And so I would think air can flow into it, but I don't know. I'm familiar.
Yeah, I'll have to remember to post about that after they sit there for a while.
Bananas. Bananas are a tough one. We end up freezing quite a few of them because it'll be a week that nobody wants a banana.
They're the best in smoothies, though.
You can always use them. And dogs like them. Mine loves a frozen banana.
Oh.
Myra's saying the same thing.
Foil.
I would think it's anything just to restrict that oxygen flow. It said it did not work.
Oh, okay.
Very
interesting.
I'll have to do a little digging into that and see if it's an urban myth or legitimate. But if it works for you, Myra, keep wrapping those bananas.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions? We can, be on here for another minute or two if you do, please put them in the comments. And while we're waiting, there's a couple things that we wanted to talk about. We have a freebie that we created, and it is called the Healthy Pantry Series Guide. And we talked about this last week, and I just wanted to bring it up again. I don't know if you can see it. It's a 10-page guide that has lots of good stuff in it. And I wanted to show you, so each week we contributed some items into the guide that go along with the blog posts that each of us have written. So there's lots of information to get from it. This week there are smoothie and I'm having a hard time with the camera. There's smoothie and meal kit recipes in here. So Paige has given lots of really good information. It's how to build a smoothie. It's giving a recipe for it. There's also one for snacks and even building a meal kit, which is really cool. And then what I did is I went through and I gave you a lot of ideas on how to store things. So there's lots of resources and tips and recipes in this freebie, and you need to go get it. We'll put the link to it in the comments. And then, do you want to tell them the next exciting part? Okay.
So I mentioned it earlier, when last week we talked about ways to keep things fresh in the fridge. And again, it keeps coming up, ways to keep things fresh in the fridge. That's hard to say. So we have a friend, her name is Orlando, and she is a Tupperware sales rep. And she has a product that is going to change our lives, she said. And it's called, I've got to read it so I get the name right. It's a medium deep fridge smart container. So it's a Tupperware container, and it has a unique system that allows airflow to go into your container. What I learned from Orlando is that different fruits and vegetables have different breathing levels. So you can customize, there's a slider on this product, and depending on if your food is a heavy breather or a light breather, you can control the amount of oxygen, humidity, et cetera, in there. And she gave me a little quote that she said I could read tonight. She said that the venting system is changed based on what's inside, so it can last, food can last 3 times as long. She has stored romaine and spinach for 3 weeks, grapes for 2 weeks, and zucchini for 17 days. So she's finding that she can really stock up on produce. She can make fewer trips to the grocery store, but still have that food stay fresh. So she really wanted to share it with all of y'all. So what we've offered, we've decided to do is if you download the freebie between now and next Wednesday, we're going to announce next Wednesday, we will draw a winner from everybody who's downloaded the freebie. And then Orlando will send you that medium deep fridge smart container right to your house. You don't have to do anything. Sounds
and it does. And it's perfect for what we were talking about. And particularly what everybody's going through right now with having to buy more than usual so that you don't have to go to the grocery store or run over again, so you can buy enough and keep it fresher longer. So
we have a commenter, my guess is it's Jamie, that says that she has that product and she really thinks it's great. So if you're excited about trying a new product and you want some great recipes, you want some organizational tips, it's kind of a no-brainer. Just download the freebie, we'll enter you in our drawing, and then we'll announce the winner next week.
Mm-hmm. Yay, I'm excited.
I know.
It's a $29.
$29. Yeah. And we're going to post a link to Orlando's Facebook group. I haven't owned Tupperware in a long time, but I remember thinking it has such great products. The quality is so good. I always forget about it. So I was kind of excited when she reached out to start to look at some of the things. And there's some other items that have caught my eye. So you might be interested too, as you're trying to organize and keep your space. Larissa, we haven't posted the link yet. We will, I promise. But yeah, you'll want to just check it out and browse and get some ideas. It's going to help keep you organized, keep your food fresh, and reduce those trips to the grocery store.
Yeah, we'll put the link in here right when we get off. We'll link to the blog posts and the freebie and to her Facebook page and everything, so that you can get all of the information that you want.
Yeah. Somebody has to win. It could be you. It's never me. I never win anything.
Don't say that.
It's okay.
It's fun gifting. I did a giveaway and I gave away a $25 Amazon card, and the girl that won emailed me back and she's like, I never win anything. I'm so excited. Yes. So I love that. I love being able to
win something, especially something that you can use.
Yeah.
You know, not something boring. This will really make a difference. I was impressed with spinach. That's my hardest item to keep fresh, is that you feel like you buy a reasonable quantity and then you open the bag and it's soggy and it's disappointing.
Yeah.
So I want to try it. And the product does come in various sizes. We're offering the medium deep, which holds quite a bit. But again, if you want to check out her site and feel like something might work for you, if you don't win, you might want to purchase something else.
Okay. Well, does anybody else have any other questions? We don't have any other questions right now. So, all right. Well, if that's it, we can wrap it up.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will see you next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. We will give away a free prize. So download our guide and you'll be eligible to win. And questions, comments during the week, we'd love to hear from you.
Yep. Put them in the comments and we'll be able to see them. So thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye. Good night.